Hey everyone, this is Megan and Nick, and we're going to be talking about what we read in April together. And we're going to start off with Zodiac Academy. Do you want me to go first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I just listen though. So, and then I don't think I gave it anything for spice because it really was like nothing in there. I hated it, but liked it at the same time. For some reason, I'm invested. But, I liked the world that they built. It was just Harry Potter, college vibes kind of thing. So I liked that portion of it. But I hated, I think, every single character. I thought the twins were the dumbest main characters I've ever experienced in my life. And the male characters, I felt like they weren't redeemable. They were just so mean to them that they just weren't redeemable for me. In any capacity. I know there's a lot more books, but and I just felt like it was a constant we're gonna bully these girls and do non-consensual things, and it's gonna be okay. It's fine. We're just gonna kill these people and it's gonna be fine. I didn't like it, but I liked it. And did yours have a bonus chapter? Okay. Do you want to?
About Orion.
Can I describe it to you?
Sure.
Because it's gross. And I hated it.
I'll just read it now. Don't say it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You want to read it right now?
No.
Okay.
It's about Orion, right?
It's Orion
It's
and the
titled
guys. Yeah, but it's about him and the guys.
Oh.
And just picture in your mind what that possibly could be. That could be gross.
Yeah.
And it just felt like this book was written by a 14-year-old boy. Sometimes it really did feel like that.
Even though it was two girls.
Even though it was two women.
Yeah.
It really did feel like it was written by a prepubescent boy. Sometimes. Like I said, I liked the plot and the star signs and stuff like that. I thought that portion was cool, but everything else was just what the fuck am I reading? Type of deal.
I gave it a 1.25.
Oh my god. 1.25.
Yeah, so literally half of what you gave.
Nice.
I did not like it at all. You said pretty much everything. There was no redeemable qualities about any of the characters. The dudes all sucked. The girls sucked. The only one that didn't suck was Sophia.
Yeah, they're friends.
And Diego. But I think something was weird with Diego.
Yeah, it was kind of weirded out, what's his deal kind of thing. I thought he was the killer and he was gonna kill her.
I still think he's the killer.
You think so?
But other than that, nothing happened in the book.
Yeah, that was another thing. Everything happened, but nothing happened at the same time.
No, nothing happened. Nothing happened until the very last chapter.
Yeah.
With spoilers, falling star dying.
Oh, yeah, falling star.
But
which I didn't anticipate it was that person. I didn't really see that. I thought it was Diego.
I didn't know who it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I also didn't care.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, as in you're devoted in it. That book was really bad. But I'll still read the second one, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it the second one, and then if that one is okay, I'm going to go with third, but my anime rule. I think I'm going to give it 3, because there's so many in this series that I'm not going to read all 12 if I don't like them. I'm going to give it to 3 to see where I stand.
Yeah.
And if it's, really still not good, then I'm just not going to continue.
Yeah, like I said, it really seemed like... Was this their first books?
I don't know. It didn't really read, though, it was first. But even just looking now, they gave us a map, and it's we didn't go anywhere. We went into one place outside the college, and that's it.
And that was at the end of the book.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
yeah, I'll read the next one.
I'll read the next one,
but after that and their opinion, it really just did give the vibe that it's easy to bully people because you'll end up in the end what's the phrase boys will be boys, and then you marry that boy and then he beats you.
Which is surprising that it's written by 2 women.
Yeah.
I don't know, they just didn't do women justice at all in the book.
No, not really.
At all. And I get that's probably the point, to show what women do go through. But
sure, sure, but there was no even...
But it's like I said, like, Tori and Darcy didn't stick up for themselves ever.
No. And supposedly,
I mean, Tori did a little bit, but...
like, supposedly Tori was, like, hot-headed.
Yeah.
One to stick up for herself, and she did a little bit, but, like, even the final act of, like, the pool thing, like, I understand that she was being compulsed, like, it was the compulsion, or what they called it? The coercion over her, which is fine, but also, I didn't like that, because it's like, I thought that was a vampire thing, but everybody can do that?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That seemed like just like you're destined to fail.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just like...
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a vampire thing, and then they're like, when Orion had this entire class do it to him.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. I understand, like, the premise of, like, they don't want to be on the throne, nobody else wants them on the throne, but it's like, it didn't really kind of dive into Orion's deal, like, why he wanted them to go to school. If nobody wanted them there,
Yeah, why bother
bringing them? But also, why bother bringing them and then you're mean to them?
Mm-hmm. Even the faculty.
Yeah. So, like, what? It really did feel like we could be mean to everyone. Like, I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, no.
But it was the fact that I read it.
I think another thing, it was, I feel like it got caught between wanting to be a young adult book and then wanting to be an adult book at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Because everything up until the last third of the book is all just something that a teenager would read.
Yeah, it felt very...
And then there's one spicy scene toward the end of the book, but I just feel like they didn't know which direction that they actually wanted to go in with it.
No. It did feel like all over the place. Okay, so then we'll talk about Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I don't have the physical book on me, but I read that in January, and I gave that a 5 out of 5. Spice, I'm trying to remember, I think I gave that like a 2.5. Maybe, I think a 3. I think I gave it maybe 3 or 3.5. Because the Spice, I think I lumped in like romance and the spice part of it into one. But I was obsessed with that book. I was literally, like, because you know, I was reading the end of it on the couch with headphones in, and I don't remember what I was listening to, because I was so into it, like, towards that ending part, that I wasn't anywhere else. Like, that's where I was. I felt like I was in the book. Like, for this book, I felt like I was there. And I know that had some, like, tropes that are really similar to ACOTAR and stuff like that, but I feel like it wasn't a total ripoff. It was just enough to, like, make it its own thing. And Kingfisher is my new boyfriend. I love him. And the fact that he's, like, what, 1,700 years old? I think he's one of the oldest. I think, other than Castile from Blood and Ash, because he's pretty old, I think he's, like, one of the oldest ones we've ever, like, read about, really, that I've ever read about in that way. But yeah, I loved all the different elements, like vampires, fae, like bringing in, like, a companion, Onyx, and just I think the alchemy, yeah, Onyx right here. She looked back, like, and then just the alchemy part was cool in itself. And I just, in the beginning of the book, I could picture clearly in my head, like, the rising out of Quicksilver, and her just, like, fighting to the death with, like a sword wound in her stomach.
Oh, the beginning of the book was great.
Oh yeah, like, I could just see it like it was, like, a moment. Yeah, that's why I want to read. Then I want to read Brimstone together, because I'm so excited.
Yeah, I gave it a 4. This book, I feel like, is definitely more for the girls than than ACOTAR's. Like, ACOTAR is more fantasy than it is romance. This one was a lot more romance focused than the fantasy side, which, that's why I didn't give it 5. I would have liked more fantasy. Like, it got there toward the end of the book, but they were really focusing on Kingfisher, and they're really focused on building up their relationship more than the actual fantasy side.
I think, though, that's, like, kind of how the first ACOTAR was, though. When you thought that it was going to be Tamlin.
Well, no.
For me, that's how I felt. It was,
Well, see, this book is exactly what I thought ACOTAR was going to be.
oh, the first one.
I thought ACOTAR was going to be the way it's talked about. I thought it was going to be more.
I think it's ACOTAR they say.
Yeah.
The phrase ACOTAR is generalized for all
Yeah,
books.
that ACOTAR was going to be more romance-based or focused than fantasy, and it wasn't.
But it was the other way.
It was the other way around.
Yeah.
This is what I thought ACOTAR was going to be. That's why I think I like this more than ACOTAR.
The first book.
The first book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's good. Like it had its moments for me in ACOTAR. Like the ending had me there, but it's just no.
For it being her, I think it is her first fantasy book.
I think so.
She didn't do a bad job on it. I'm really interested in seeing how she does do the second book. If it's more
It has to be.
If it's more fantasy based, because obviously her and Kingfisher are together now.
Well, and then now she's like, what is she, like a half
She's half fae,
vampire, half fae,
yeah.
like, and then she met the gods.
Yeah, which was interesting because I was really wondering how they were going to turn her. I knew they weren't gonna. It wasn't going to be like a ACOTAR thing where she dies and then all the higher
She gets a
fae.
hurdle over them.
Yeah. So I was really interested in how they were going to do that. And that's when they introduced the vampires. That was kind of surprising to me. I thought it was a good addition to.
But not, good addition, but not too much.
Yeah.
Because sometimes kind of like Zodiac.
There's just so much.
Throwing everything
There's
in there.
so
and
much
like,
in Zodiac
oh my
Cat.
God.
But this one,
It's just enough.
it was surprising to see that they did go that route, but not really, because there's really no other way they could have made her immortal without copying
Without copying.
ACOTAR.
Yeah. That's why I like the god portion too, which when that happened, I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, the God part.
Like that, I did not expect that at all. Being like, oh yeah, we're gonna throw gods into it now. It's like, oh, there's an extra higher power now.
Yeah, that's why I have faith in the next book, that it's going to be a little more fantasy based, because she met the gods,
Yeah, it's just setting up this whole.
and obviously Kingfisher's not really with them. He's against the gods. He hates the gods,
Yeah, I think so.
but he's also got his own issues.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the same way about Kingfisher as you do.
You don't like.
I like him, but I just don't.
You're just such a romantic. Yeah. No.
I don't. I didn't like him as much as other males in other books.
Cool.
Every other male, every other book.
Dory. Stan. No, I really like all the characters in this book too. Kingfisher was my top. But Carrion Swift
Carrion
was such a close number one for me.
He was really funny.
Oh my god, and that reveal at the end, I literally held the book and I was like,
Yeah, that was.
what the fuck?
That was pretty.
Like that came out of left field, that came out of nowhere. I just love his character though. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get jerked off like 4 water drinks in the bathtub. This is what I'm gonna do today on Tuesday.
Which the reveal at the end makes sense as to why he was just so open to everything, because
Yeah.
he is Fae.
And because he was also a million years old. So it's just like, whatever. But I love that like, it's just this random character she slept with at the beginning of the book. And then
He turns out to
suddenly,
be somebody important.
yeah, somebody important, and then she also slept with him, and it's like,
And when
wow.
Kingfisher brought him back, I thought that was the best thing too.
oh, instead
Instead of her brother.
Because he was like, yeah, I'm her brother.
Yep.
But it's because
He had his own motive.
He had his own agenda that
Yep.
he was like, okay, I know what's going on here.
Yep.
Like, the jig is up. I have to go back. I also like the ending, like, trials portion, too.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Avatar in its own way, but I pictured it, I know you didn't read The Maze Runner, but I pictured it like The Maze Runner, where they had to, like, run in and then, like, go through the maze.
The spider was creepy.
And the spider coming out,
The
and
one
just,
a
like,
drider. It was really a
Yeah.
drider.
yeah, and like
Right.
fighting that, and then getting past, and like kind of just going to different sections. I could see that portion. I could see in my head so clearly. Like I felt like I was there. Like I was so locked in on that. And I think my heart was racing. I was like, oh my god, the spider thing is creepy. It's gonna get them. But yeah, I don't mind like using inspiration from other books to create something new. Like I don't like the copies, but I feel like she did a really good job of like, you know, making it her own thing and making it like obviously it's 6 figures worthy for Netflix, so that's what we're gonna get. But
up. Watch it pop up.
Netflix, so you know.
Needed more Onyx. That's the one thing I didn't like about the book is at the 80% mark, Onyx just wasn't there anymore.
It reminded me of the Fleetfoot scenario.
Yeah. Well, no, Fleetfoot made sense because Fleetfoot wasn't with her.
I
But
know.
Onyx was with Ceres.
Oh, that's true.
And they just never mentioned Onyx after, like I said, about the 80% mark. Onyx was just gone.
Yeah.
That was my one critique that I had.
More Onyx.
More Onyx.
We need more Onyx. Right. And then the last one we're reviewing is Wolfsong by T.J. Coleman. I'll go first because I recently read it. So,
Yeah, I got to refresh me a tiny bit because it's been. I read it last year.
yeah. I give this a 5 out of 5.
Same.
Spice was like 1. Maybe 1.5.
Yeah, 1. I guess just because it is explicit.
Yeah. But I love this book. I didn't think I would like it this much, but there's just a way that he wrote this book that like really kept me in it. It was just like even just like the way some of the paragraphs went, like just like I froze and then some words. He waited, some words, and then like it was
a lot
just,
of
like,
tension.
It was a lot of tension. It wasn't like whole paragraphs full of dialogue. It was like broken out, and it really had you feeling like it was a conversation.
Oh yeah.
And I just love Ox. He was such a sweet character. Like that's what you want in like a person. Like you want a sensitive person, but a strong person, a family-oriented person, someone who can think for themselves and fight for themselves. Like it was just he was an all-around perfectly balanced character. And I really did feel like this was for like the girlies like me that when they read Twilight, they wanted Jacob. I just feel like the werewolf genre is so much different than the vampire genre because vampires like, oh, we're isolated and sad creatures and we just like to suck blood and not go out in the daylight, blah blah blah. But like the werewolves, like he really like summed it up like beautifully. Like how they just like to rub on each other and like
it's about family.
It's about family and it's about like, you know, just being together.
Being a pack.
And how like even though they're not related, like they're a pack and they'll just sleep next to each other on the floor and it's just like little touches like how are you doing today? And, like just stuff like that. It's just like it was so sweet for me. And I just like how because like in Twilight like Bella like loses all sense of self when Edward leaves, right? So this it was like when
No spoilers.
No spoilers?
No spoilers.
Okay. So then when
Because I recommend this book to everybody.
okay. So when something happens, it's like Ox doesn't lose himself. Like he just kind of moves on, and he's like, I have to keep going. Like I can't just sit by and wallow and be sad. Like I have to fight for my family. I have to keep going. Which is also what I like. You know, I like both instances, but I just like how he took it upon himself to be everyone's family leader. I would recommend this book for everyone. It was, if you want to get into the spiciness, but you're not sure how for like BL stuff, like then this is a good starting point. I feel like,
Yeah.
because it's not too explicit. It's a good.
My last chapter is
Just the last chapter is but like and then you're a little tad. But it's just like a good start for it to ease your way.
I don't know. You pretty much summed it up.
Sorry. I really like
For
this
the
book,
most
so
part.
when-
This is my favorite book of last year. I didn't know anything about it until when we bought it at Barnes & Noble's.
Yeah, no, you bought it.
I bought it because it's a pretty book, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks-
And then I found out that it was a boy love. Well, he's bi.
yeah,
He's technically bi.
yeah.
But which made it a little even more interesting for me. I will say the beginning of the book, it is a little. When I was reading it, it is a little. I was like, oh man, where's this going?
Yeah.
Because the main character and the person that he eventually falls in love with is there's a pretty decent sized age gap.
Yeah.
He's 16 and Joe was 9 to 10, 16 to 10. So it's a little.
It was a little weird.
It was a little weird in the beginning, but nothing happens until they're older.
Yeah.
But it being about werewolves is a little understandable because it follows the same tropes as every other werewolf. Like it's imprinting without saying it's imprinting.
Kind of.
So, but Joe and Hox's relationship is just, but it goes through everything. It goes through the ups and downs of the actual relationship, which is great. The entire supporting cast of the book is.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I loved Gordo. Mark was great.
Yep.
Thomas was.
Yep.
Great. I keep saying great, but they're all just really good characters. And Elizabeth.
I wanted Thomas to be my dad.
Yeah, I wanted Thomas to be my dad too.
As two people with dead dads.
Yeah.
We wanted Thomas to be our dad. And
Ox's
the
mom
twins,
was.
and Ox's mom. Yeah.
And she didn't have that much of a role in the book, but when she was on the page, it was good.
Yeah, she was just a strong female character.
Yeah.
And the twins. And every single character I loved. Like, they were just all perfectly balanced.
This is the first book that almost made me cry.
Oh, I cried. Multiple times.
It's the first book that made me laugh out loud. It has everything in it.
Yeah, you feel everything in this book.
Yeah.
There were so many instances, like, even if it was just like a one-liner in a really tense, like, sad situation, that I was like starting to get tears. I was like, oh my god. Like,
the end of the book is 10 out of 10 in my eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With that fight, I didn't expect like the last portion of that. Like when that happened, I was like, oh my god, what is happening? What is happening? Like, is this really happening? Is this gonna happen at the end of the first book? Yeah, I also like that it kind of wasn't like a happily ever after. It was they kind of got what they wanted, but
and it's
now
like, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Like, we're gonna move on, but we're gonna move on at our own pace. Like, we're
Yeah.
not gonna be like, let's get married and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just like, this is what happened, and now we have to live with it. What can we do next to better ourselves? So yeah, I would definitely recommend the book to everyone. It was so good. And there's so much stigma on like werewolf books. People think they're so weird because I want to look at every book.
It's better than Twilight.
I mean, if you're a 13-year-old girl, it's not better than Twilight.
It's better than Twilight. The book mentions Twilight.
It does
so
mention Twilight.
It's better than Twilight. It's Twilight, but better. Because it's
Yeah.
werewolves.
Yeah, it's what the adults reading Twilight at the time it came out
Wanted.
This is what this it was.
That's what Twilight should have been.
Well, it was written by a Mormon woman, so
And this is
It
written
was-
by a gay guy.
yeah. So it
So.
was not going to be that. Yeah. No, I'm really excited for this. I love, like I said, I love Gordo, and I'm really interested to see how this story renders along, especially if it's a year after.
The magic was interesting in the book too. So that's why the next book being about Gordo,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it. 'Cause I'm really excited to see how he does continue the magic
Yeah.
since he is.
I'm also really
Magic.
curious, like, they mentioned Twilight in this book as like a joke. It's a meta joke. But you have wizards and magic, and then you have vampires, or werewolves, like, are we gonna have vampires?
I assume
You
so
know,
because
like, that would be
because
interesting.
yeah, Thomas said at one point that there are worse things out there
Yeah.
than werewolves.
Yeah,
So I assume that
yeah.
other
Which,
supernatural beings exist.
in my eyes, like, if they brought that in, like, I wouldn't mind it, because that, like you said, that would have been just, like, what we wanted in Twilight as adults.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different spin on it, kind of thing. But if it didn't, that's okay, because I like this for what it is.
Oh yeah.
You know, just a purely werewolf based, so, like, some magic in there, but purely werewolf plot based stuff.
Mhm.
But I can't see in another couple books like how they wouldn't have something else involved.
Yeah.
You know, like Ravensong is almost double the size of
No,
this,
it's only a little bit bigger.
but still, it's like they did what they had to do with this book. Like, what's next for the next 3 books? You know. So, yes, we'll have to find out.
Right.
we're gonna read this month Raven Song, so the sequel to Wolf Song, and we're gonna start the Raven Kennedy series Guild, which is what, 7 books I think, or 6 books, and she just finished it. So, and if we want to read one more after that, we will, but it might just be 2 books that we can really digest, because Raven Song is bigger too, so it'll be a lot to digest. But yeah, this is what we read in April together, and we'll see you guys next time.